We're back here with Run the Jewels. Guys, I have a question for you. Your music is both very much about creating good party, about having fun, but also you have political lyrics, and they are direct and they're masterful. But here we're at Coachella. It's a very sort of hip, love, peace vibe. Do you feel like there's room for this sort of hard political lyrics that you guys have?
If there wasn't, then they probably wouldn't have put us on the main stage.
Right.
We do. We just don't. We make sure that we don't make music that isn't fun to listen to. Yeah. And I think that what Run the Jewels is about is being a human and being funny and being stupid and being smart and caring about things when the time comes. And me and Mike have been really adamant about carving that lane out for ourselves. We have no problem saying some of the stupidest shit you've ever heard in your life. But we're also men with real hearts and compassion and we believe in certain things, and it makes its way into our music. And we refuse to choose between all those aspects of our personalities. What we won't do is make someone feel like shit after they listen to our song. Right. So irregardless of whether or not the mood is political or the mood is a joke, we think that it connects. I don't like being lectured to. It's a lot easier to swallow a bit of truth on the tail end of a joke for me than it is to just be dourly yelled at.
Agreed.
And
with a smile. But let me
dourly is an incredible vocabulary
just
word.
Dour.
Thank you.
Now, but okay, looking at the landscape, the political landscape, right,
Yeah.
of 2016,
Yeah.
we are in a moment of a lot of inequality.
Yeah.
We're in a moment of incredible racial injustice.
Yeah.
And you have very few bands who I think are actually walking that line that you guys are.
Yeah.
Having these political lyrics, having lyrics music that is also fun. Why do you think that is? That politically we're at this fever pitch, but then musically it seems like we're a little more disconnected.
I see it as more of a social thing than even political. Like, if society was kind of in order and people were able to enjoy full rights and liberties, we wouldn't be rapping about it. We happen to rap about it just because it's in the psyche.
Right.
I'm a black guy in America. I'm a 40-year-old man. I have a 22-year-old son. I got a 14-year-old son. So I don't really want to think about police encounters. I don't want to think about what it was like for me at 15. But having sons makes me think about it. So hence at about 22, I had a kid, and I think about what was it like to be a young dad. So early happens. It doesn't happen as a reaction to society, just happens as a reaction to my observations about what's, potentially is out there. So I think that our stuff is social, and I think that what we want to give you is the full human experience. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what great bands do. Marvin Gaye is great because he could sing, sexual healing and let's get it on and put you in the mood, but he also sing what's going on to cause you to inquire, to just want to live the whole human experience. And I think that's all we're trying to do. Like there have been hard bands that have been here before. Like one of our favorites is NWA, just won the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. They told some very uncomfortable, hard truths, and they did so in slapstick, hilarious ways, in ways too. So I think we just want to give you the full human experience, and we hope you get it, because we're smiling.
Yeah.
All the way.
Yeah.
And I think that what you see from us is just the result of our personalities, our friendship, where we found creative ground. And I think that both of us realized once Run the Jewels became our main focus, both of us realized that we didn't want to sacrifice all the other things that were a part of who we were artistically. So we wanted to merge it with Run the Jewels. And I think that's why Run the Jewels 2 was so important for us, because we went out of our way to say, okay, let's see if we can bring this fun thing a little bit closer and merge it with some of the things that we feel intensely as artists and as men. And it was important for us to make that also work and be something you want to play in your car,
Right. Totally.
And that's it, And
I don't. Jewels 3, we plan on converting ISIS to capitalist.
That's right.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that. What? Run the Jewels 3? ISIS is turning into who? Capitalists?
We're just going to change the whole world upside down.
Trust me, they already are.
They definitely are capitalists. Killer Mike, I want to ask you about your favorite 75-year-old white guy.
Bernard Sanders.
Mr. Bernard Sanders.
Yeah.
Why Bernie? And now that we're in May, how do you feel about
Well,
Sanders?
I was educated in public school, just like most of Americans, and they taught us that this was a place of liberty, and this was a place of freedom, and this was a place where, as a child in kindergarten, first, second grade, as of parents who were of whatever level, you could dream of being president. Now, I have seen in my lifetime that happen with Barack Obama. As a black kid, I didn't really think it fathomable when I was young. So having seen that, it caused me to want to push the bar further. I'd always expected a president to be more than just a facilitator of policy in the name of whatever special interest. I thought a president was supposed to really champion constitutionally America being a great country. And I'd always gotten to talk, but never gotten it delivered. Sanders was just the first person I ever saw who really intends to really deliver on the promise of America for all in one sweeping stroke versus, increments or versus a timeline that fits, bureaucracy versus the proletariat. So for me, if I believe what my grandmother told me about Dr. King, if I believe what my teachers told me about John F. Kennedy, if I believe what's written on the words of the Constitution, I have to support it. And I find it impossible to turn away from the old guy.
and even me, the skeptic who doesn't vote normally.
Okay.
I'm doing it this time, and the reason is because of this guy. This guy who we all have bullshit meters, right? Mine happens to be intense to the point where, and he knows, to the point where I will walk out of a room if I cannot.
Absolutely.
And I don't read that from this guy, and I think beyond him and in general, if we're going to involve ourselves in politics, if we're going to say this is how we decide where the country is going, it has to be romantic. It can't be practical. It can't be about, this is going to work within the system because the system is completely fucked. So we can't have a discussion about how it's going to work within the already established system. It can't be a nuts and bolts. This person knows that. It has to be this romantic, diluted.
Big, baby.
It has to be big.
Dream.
It has
big.
to be a dream. And it does. And
Absolutely.
even if it ends up meaning nothing, if you roll into that process with the idea of a dream, then I think that it's worthwhile, and that's the common ground that I could find with the whole thing. Like, you know what? Everything this guy's saying, it seems like this isn't a political candidate. This is not a presidential candidate, because they don't say this, because they have to be way more careful about what they say because of the people who give them money.
It's been 100 years since it's been said. You have to go back to Eugene Debs to hear, or maybe Shirley Chisholm in the 70s. But he's a once-in-a-lifetime candidate.
Reagan was the
So the
president.
Democratic Party is kind of like
Right on, Viz. Right on, Viz.
the Democratic Party is kind of like that Venus flytrap at the end, a little bit, isn't it?
For my people, it has been. It ain't been too good to us.
Right.
To be very honest.
I could talk to you guys all day.
Thank you.
You're incredibly smart and in touch and talented. So thank you so much for sitting down with me.
Thank you.
Have an awesome Coachella.
Thanks for making us look like an actual group. Like, the production on this is dope. We look like...
Yeah, look at us.
Yeah, look at us. We're handsome.
Can you not
what were
focus on
you?
my legs so much, though? It seems a little...
Yeah, it's a little obscene. You should have bronzed them a little more. So
you,
cute.
Francesca.
Yeah, thank you.
Love.
Mike, so good. LB,
Bastards.
I'm gonna
Thank
a
you.
little
Thank you
handshake
very
there.
much.